you have to have the willingness to just start and keep going. People don't
Okay.
want to fully go all in until they know it's going to work. It will not work until you fully go all in.
Welcome to Champagne Social. This is Melissa. How do you say your last name? I don't want to butcher it.
Dlugolecki.
Dlugolecki.
Perfect.
Okay, amazing. We've got it. You are speaker, author, founder of BrandLab, and I'm adding that you are a marketing genius. I'm so excited to talk to you. I know you because you are a coach in the Mentor Collective Mastermind with Chris and Lori. And I want to start the way that we always do on the show with what you're grateful for and what you're working on. So kick us off with some gratitude, please.
Genuinely, I am grateful for how much I love life. Yeah, it's just something I feel every day, genuinely every day. And, entrepreneurship brings a lot of challenges. And
Mhm.
I always come back to gratitude. I think it's the medicine for it. And hey, this is the life I wanted. These are the edges I wanted. These are the risks I wanted, right? These are the
Mhm.
fears I signed up for. And having a time in my life where I genuinely, Madeline, didn't want to live. Like
Wow.
I genuinely was Googling how to end my life,
Oh my gosh, Melissa.
to love life the depth that I do. I just am so grateful to experience that every single day.
So not to get into the meat of things, but I'm guessing you've done a lot of work to get from there to here. What are some things that you feel like have really helped you in like loving life and feeling this much gratitude?
I've had a lot of mentors and coaches, and something that my father has always said about me is no one will outwork me.
Okay.
And that is true in all aspects of my life. Now, yes, there are people who can outwork me, but I work very hard in
Mhm.
what I'm committed to. And that was like therapy and coaching. It was business
Mhm.
mentors. It was my business. It was my team. It was my health. It was my fitness. And I genuinely cleared all of the things that I was doing because of the word should. If anyone wants a quick takeaway, look at where you're using the word should. I should go to that
Okay.
dinner. I should do that. I should do that. And I was living so much of a life that wasn't my truth that when I cleared everything out and I stopped apologizing for saying no, and I was okay with letting friendships or relationships fall off with just love and appreciation for the chapters that were shared, and just fully devoted myself. And I live in a way where I feel like I'm in devotion to what I do. I'm in devotion to my relationship. I'm in devotion to my work. I'm in devotion to my team. And when I started just living in devotion to what I want to commit to and eliminating everything else, it just created a lightness and an ease.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all of the clutter goes away and it's such joy.
I love the word devotion. That's so good. That's like such a beautiful way to describe it because there is a lightness to it. Not like it's an obligation, but it's a devotion and there's so much meaning to you behind that. That's amazing. And such a simple shift, but like makes a huge difference.
So, I mean, I love messaging. The
Yes.
words we choose are so important, not
Yes.
just for business, but for our mindset.
Totally. Like how we frame things for ourselves.
Yes. There's a quote that I love that says, we are constantly collecting evidence of the stories we tell ourselves.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. I need to write that down.
Yeah. And if we are telling ourselves a story that we're burned out or it's not going to work or we can't do it, we will find the evidence of that. Have you heard of the red car theory?
Yes, where you're looking for a car and now you see it everywhere.
Right. You just bought a red car, it's front of your mind, and all of a sudden you notice that car everywhere.
Yes.
That's how our mind works. Whatever we are focused on, we see. So focus on opportunity and possibility and learning and lessons and gratitude, and that's what you see. And I'll pause here because you know me, I can go. But
I
the
love it.
subtitle of my book is Navigating Our Biggest Challenges Without Toxic Positivity. So I want to be very
Okay.
clear for a listener that this is not gaslighting, bypassing, or using toxic positivity. It's framing and training our mind And even to be like, wow, yeah, there are challenges and here
Mhm.
are the opportunities. And I use the word and. And most people live an or life. It's either challenging or there are opportunities. It either
Totally.
feels good or it feels bad. It can actually simultaneously feel good and bad.
Totally. Yes. And that I feel like if you frame it that way, life gets a lot better.
So much better.
And I think it's an important distinction because toxic positivity is not what we're after or what you're saying.
It's toxic.
Yeah, we don't want it. It can work for a little while, but then you're going to be unhappy and worse off than if you would have just worked on how you frame things.
Yeah, there's a chapter in my book where I talk about whack-a-mole, where you remember that game at like Chuck E. Cheese where you
Oh,
whack
yeah.
it down?
Oh, yeah.
Toxic positivity is kind of like playing whack-a-mole. Something comes up and you're like, everything's great. It will get better when so-and-so
Yes.
would want you to be sad. And we're just knocking it down, knocking it down, knocking it down, and it'll pop up somewhere else, just like that mole. So it'll come up here in
Totally.
business and we knock it down. It'll come up over here in a relationship. We knock it down. It'll come up in our relationship with self. It'll come up in our fitness. And eventually, when we keep knocking it down, it becomes an explosion. And that's why people explode and
Mhm.
relationships suddenly end. They don't suddenly end. Things have been knocked down, right?
So true.
No
So true.
relationship, no business, nothing suddenly ends. Now, of course, if there's like a certain element to death, that could suddenly end, right? But 90% of things, they're not suddenly ending. We're not dealing with it proactively.
I love it. So you feel like with the journey you've gone through, you've really worked on how you're able to like hold the space and focus on what you're learning, what you're getting from it instead of sitting in that negative.
Exactly. It's just developing a growth mindset, right? And
Amazing.
growth mindset is very different than toxic positivity.
Well, I needed to hear that today because I was crying to my husband last night. Like, things feel hard sometimes in business ownership. It does feel like whack-a-mole. So I needed to hear this because it is so important, like, not to wait for things to feel easy because it's never going to feel that way.
It's never
So I
going to
needed
feel
this.
easy. And I always
Never.
say, let go of the expectation that it's going to be easy. And I
100%.
take it further and I say, can we actually learn to love the burn? Like if anyone watches my Instagram stories, I will be talking about this all the time. Love the burn, love the burn. We know when we go to the gym, in order to get to results, we have to feel it. It has to hurt a little bit. There's got to be a burn.
100%.
That's true of everything.
Otherwise, like, what are you doing? What are you doing there?
Right? The burn
Yeah.
creates the transformation.
Amazing. Love that. I feel like we could talk about that all day, but I want to hear what you're working on. What are you working on right now?
Well, I just launched my book. And then really, I am focused on mastery, not more. And so I talk to my business mentor all the time and I'm like, what about this idea? And what about that idea? And I always have to come back to mastery. And so the
Love that.
Brand Lab is my focus of mastery, which is where we do people's landing pages, social media, brand build outs, launch strategies, all of that. And so it's just how do we become greater masters for our clients? I just had my team in Newport Beach. I flew everyone in.
So
Um,
fun.
yeah, from all different parts of the country and from Canada. And we just did like literally we brought a whiteboard on a boat.
Amazing. Because you're a whiteboard queen.
I'm obsessed with whiteboarding.
You and the whiteboard. I love it. I love it. So you're on a boat, the whole team with the whiteboard working all together. I love that.
I rented a house that was right on the water. We sat outside by the water, brought out the whiteboard. Um,
Amazing.
and it kind of represented what I stand for, which is not work-life balance, it's work-life integration.
Love that.
Oh, we either can be doing something fun or we can be working. And it's like, can we actually make this whiteboarding really fun and bring it on a boat and laugh and chill and like let it be joyful? And then
Amazing.
that energy is what is created in your work because you're not treating it like work.
Totally. I was going to say, I feel like that's where you're going to get your best work and feel creative and actually be able to like flow in your work.
100%.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. And I think, especially with being on social media every day for me and a lot of us, it's easy to be like, oh, let me do that. Or, oh, I should try that. And so I'm working on this right now too of like, stop like doing all the things and focus on like those few things and being really good at them. So I love that. And that's challenging to do.
It's challenging to do when you're creative and a visionary, high achiever, but we dilute the potency of what we're really good at
Mhm.
when we're spread out. Just say we have, I don't know, 10 units of energy.
Mhm.
We put all 10 into one spot. That is going to be so much bigger and bolder than if it's 3 here, 2 there, 1 there, half there. And I had to
Absolutely.
learn that in the beginning. I was trying to do everything because I was in scarcity. And I thought, well, I could monetize on this. I could make money on that. And when I learned to focus on mastery, things took off.
Amazing, which I feel like really ties into what you do now, which is helping other people do that through marketing.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
if you don't mind, would you walk us through your story, how you got to where you are now? Because it's so powerful. I've heard, I feel like the brief version. So, however in depth you want to go here, but you have such an incredible story.
Thank you. I was a former educator. So I was a high school special educator for students with language-based learning disabilities and social, emotional, or behavioral challenges. So I really understood how people communicate and learn and how emotions impact decision making and even the ability to receive information.
Wow.
So that actually really helps me now, which I didn't foresee at the time. My daughter passed away in 2014. And at this time, I had moved from being a high school special educator to a high school athletic director. And it was my dream job. I had this belief at the time that you either cared about people or money, and I only cared about people. So why would I go make money? I'm going to serve all the people and be in education. But I was $100,000 in debt, burned out, and broke. I couldn't really help a whole lot of people. So after my daughter passed, obviously that rocks your whole world.
Mhm.
Everything is just completely shattered, and you see everything differently.
Mm.
And I started noticing that I was having resistance and resentment towards my work. Like, I would get an email complaining about playing time, and I was like, "Who the F cares?" But it was actually my job to care. And so I knew that I needed to make a shift either in my mind and get myself to be able to care or get out of there. And I kind of was dipping my toes in. I started a holistic health coaching business and mindset. I was teaching yoga, which I loved. Yoga students asked me if I'd mindset coach them. So I started doing that. I'm like, oh, I could do this. And then I studied gut health because my daughter died, very layman's terms, of a sick gut. So I began
Wow.
studying holistic health and gut health, healed my own, changed my relationship with health and fitness as someone who'd been a chronic calorie counter, low fat, like no carb, like I didn't
Yep.
understand and I did so much damage to my gut. And so when I started understanding holistic health and food as medicine, well, then I started teaching it. Again, I had a teaching background, so it was very natural for me. And it
Mhm.
caught on. I left the schools and went full time into my business. And in 13 months, it grew to 7 figures
Wow.
organically, meaning no paid ads online. And I had 4,000 followers.
Wow.
And so I realized I really understood funnels. And
Mhm.
because I say that when people have a really strong brand, they can actually afford to have kind of sloppier funnels. Now, it's not good. They're losing money and leaving money on the table.
Sure.
But I didn't have authority. I couldn't afford to, so everything had to be sealed tight, and I really understood messaging and branding. I created a movement around my offers.
And were you really strategic about that right away?
Funnels, yes. Marketing and branding, I didn't realize that I was, but in hindsight, I was. Like, it
Sure.
was very natural for me.
Sure. Amazing.
In hindsight, I completely rebranded, marketed, and did all of that for my athletic department and completely changed that culture.
Sure. But without even realizing maybe what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely
Cool.
without realizing it. And so then I began helping people with their sales funnels and their business, and I was coaching. And as my clients were higher and higher level, there gets to a point where they don't want to be coached. They want it done for them. I want to be like,
Yep.
hey, go do this. They're like, just,
Yep.
I need someone to do it for me, but they didn't know who to hire. They didn't know who to trust. So we're not making progress.
Hmm.
And they're their bottleneck. So I began with some of my private clients, just pairing them with my own team members. So this all started very organically.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And the results were, like, insane. We moved so much more quickly when we removed them from being the bottleneck.
Sure. You're like, we're just going to actually do this for you.
Right, something is here. So I
Yeah.
started building it and building it and building it, and now it's now a machine. We have 80 contractors. I have 8 US-based or Canadian-based, like, department heads.
Wow.
It is a machine. I'm so proud of how well it runs. I'm so proud of my team. We have an amazing culture, and it's a lot of fun.
That's incredible. Now, when you said 80, I got overwhelmed. So how does it feel to manage that many people? And how did you go from it's me to there's 80 people?
It's based on need. When clients would come to us like, "Hey, we need more video editors. Hey, we need more graphic designers." No one's
Mhm.
full-time and people's hours vary. And what I would say is that I don't manage all of them.
Smart.
I manage my department heads.
Yep.
And department heads are in their own area. So I have a copywriter. I have a social media person. I have a landing page and website person, right? So now they manage the people under them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm an ops person, right? And so like admin ops. And so they manage under them. And then, so that's client facing. And then I have what's called my internal team, which are the people who run my business. So I manage my internal team, which is smaller.
Amazing. And I think a lot of that is just being really strategic with how you position people and organize it, right? Is that what you're saying? Just making sure you're making really smart decisions and not growing just to grow.
Oh, 100%. And you have to look at when does it make sense to bring more people on, when doesn't it? A lot of my team members are contracted by client. So if the client leaves, like that contract is gone. So it's not like this massive overhead. It also gives them
Mhm.
incentive to keep clients. So that was a really strategic move that I made in building this.
Absolutely.
I always tell my team, like, what do you need for me to feel empowered to just run with things and make decisions and know that I
Love
trust
that.
you?
So you're not the bottleneck.
I'm not the bottleneck. And I always say, like, if you guys are waiting on me, I'm the bottleneck. Because look,
Mhm.
I'm currently in Newport Beach, California. I live in Tulum, Mexico. I got on a plane September 8th and have not been home since. We are now at
Wow.
October 29th. I'm about to
Wow.
head to Idaho for my sixth state.
Oh
So
my word.
if we're dependent on me every day, it's not going to run.
Totally. That's amazing. Now, I think for a lot of people, marketing is a big kind of scary word. Is that something you experience?
Yes, I think that it's also misunderstood.
Okay, I want to hear from you because you're so good at marketing and breaking it down. So I think people think marketing, okay, I'm already overwhelmed. Where do I even start? What are you seeing that people struggle the most with in marketing? And what are some of your biggest things that you implement for clients?
Yeah. I would say that there are four main pillars that I would say fall under the general term of marketing, and I think are very important. One is your messaging, right? One is your branding. One is your content creation and like cadence, like visibility.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the other is your strategy. And people are like, what do you mean strategy? Well, people will just create content to create content, but actually it should be reverse engineered. So you want to first look at your goals of what you're driving to and when, what your goals are for revenue. Look at if you were to do it right now, how much revenue do you think you would get? Then establish what the gap is. And your marketing strategy's job is to close that gap between where you are currently and what the goal is. That is the job of a marketing strategy. And then branding, messaging, and social media content are all kind of like vehicles that bring the marketing strategy to life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd first break it down into those different buckets. And people think marketing is just social media. No, that is one vehicle for marketing,
Mhm.
but it's so much bigger than that.
Well, and what I've experienced with social media management is that if we're doing social media, but the other things aren't properly in place, then you're going to be spinning your wheels. But people don't always realize that.
100%. And that is why the way that I've structured, we run a little bit differently, is that I don't do like content creation. It's like content creation is part of the sales funnel optimization. We break it out in phases. So first we're going to attack the landing page. Then we're going to look at the lead magnet and the automations and then the email nurturing sequence. Because look, if you're just creating content and you're not driving it to an optimized landing page, what are you doing? If you're
Right.
not driving it to automations or funnel, what are you doing? It's like you're putting stuff out there, but you're actually wasting energy.
And so you do a lot of launches, right, for your clients?
My favorite.
Your favorite. So what do you love about launches and what are you seeing that's working really well for clients?
What I love about launches is that every single one is unique if done correctly. And there's too much out there where people think it's plug and play, copy and paste, AI it. I'm sorry. AI chat is not going to get you a uniquely curated launch strategy that understands your unique selling proposition and what I call your unique brand proposition. I think unique brand proposition is more important right now than a unique selling proposition.
Okay.
So a launch strategy is kind of what I was just talking about. Like, okay, what's your goal? So let's say the goal for a launch is 30 people. Okay, what's your price point? What's your brand authority? What problem are you solving? Are you clear that people want this problem? You get clear on all of that. And then you look at, okay, currently, if you were to drop this right now, how many people would join? So let's say, I forget what I just said, 30. So let's say your goal is 30 and you're like 10. Okay, well, how are we building our strategy for a funnel to close the gap of 20? And I love it. And it's constant data and feedback. To me, it brings me back. I was an athlete. I was a Division I athlete. I've run many marathons. I was a high school athletic director. It brings me back to game planning of sports.
Amazing. Because you know the end goal.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen. There's like curveballs. It's like an athletic game. Like you're watching stuff and you're like, oh my God, this didn't go how planned. Because no launch strategy will go exactly as planned. But you put the game plan in place and you begin to execute. And then from execution, you look at the feedback and you tweak it. And
As you're going.
Yes. And then you continually tweak and continually tweak. And that is why I think so many people do launches incorrectly, is because they either copy and paste or they don't have the full funnel done. Like they go right to selling. They're not nurturing. They're not priming. Right. If you look at, and I have a freebie on this too, like a launch checklist, but I have like a visual where it shows, and a lot of people start right in the middle of the visual.
Which is what?
Which is going to be the conversion.
Okay.
And they haven't done the market testing. They haven't done the dripping. They haven't done the priming. They haven't done the connection and the nurturing. Then people are like, sales is weird. Yeah, sales is weird because you didn't do any legwork before it.
Totally.
And now all of a sudden you're like, come by. That's weird.
Yes. It's not going to work very well.
And people have this misconception that they're going to put up one freaking post announcing their offer and their DMs are going to be flooded.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen. I work with some of the biggest names in the industries. I mean, somebody that I work with has 5 million followers.
Wow.
You know, we still have to do launch strategy.
And what do you feel like people like timeframes and numbers? What is a really good time to dedicate to a launch strategy for something?
It's a great question, and it's uniquely curated. So let's use an example. You have to look at that gap. And then how much time do you actually need realistically to close that gap? Or how hard and how fast are you willing to work? Right? Are you willing to go get on a million podcasts and do lives and get in events and do collabs? Like, yeah, you can move more quickly. You really have to ask, what do you need, right? Let's say that gap of 20. And then what are you willing to do to get there? And someone's like, well, I'm traveling. I have this work-life balance. Okay, then you're going to need more time. If someone's like, this is all I am doing and I will do whatever it takes, you're going to get it done more quickly.
Sure.
The other variable, so that's like a lifestyle and kind of goals variable. The other variable is how much brand authority do you have around your launch? Meaning, is this the first time you're launching it? People aren't going to know and associate you with that yet.
Totally.
So you're going to need more time and you're going to have to do more value sharing and education and get in other communities. So, you know, for example, we met through Mentor Collective Mastermind, right? Chris and Lori have a lot of brand power and they're well known for what they do. They're going to have more freedom in the turnaround time for their launches. But even at that level, there's going to be a period where you just don't want to be selling.
Yeah.
You're just delivering and sharing value. And that is true for any level entrepreneur. Now, somebody brand new is putting out a brand new offer, right? Or they don't have as much brand power and they're not well known. They're going to need to either increase the time or increase the effort or both.
Yep.
And that's why I think building brand is so important. That's why I said I think UBP is more important than USP, because if you are known and associated for something, then people are more primed to buy than what you're actually offering.
Amazing. Now, I'd love to talk about UBP if you don't mind.
I made that up, by the way. I'm like, I should trademark this.
You should. You absolutely should. I was trying to tell my husband last night and I was like, I know it was unique something. But so UBP, it's in my brain forever and the listener's brain forever. So we were talking about this a little bit yesterday in the mastermind call, and you were giving some really helpful insight in the comments. So I would love to hear from you on more about the unique brand positioning and how someone figures out what that is for them. And then is it something that you just drill over and over and over?
Yes. Over and over and over and over. Attention is the currency. If you are marketing online, when you have someone's attention, that's the money, that's the pesos, right? And so you need to be clear. If I'm using people's attention, is it
Mhm.
connected to my brand? People don't value that enough. Everyone's is very different. And when I struggled at first when I was getting into this work, is I thought I was
Mhm.
supposed to be like this woman boss in a certain way. And I'm like, trying to do the photo shoots in like a tutu, a pink tutu. Not kidding. I can like show you.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
can you please? Can you
I
please?
will. I
Or
will.
send it
Remind me, like drop it in circle. I'll be like, here you go.
Yeah.
We need to see you in a tutu.
It was a floor length pink tutu.
Oh my word. Yes, we need to see this.
I will find it.
That's hilarious. And you felt like that's what you were supposed to do.
Yeah,
That's
this is what you do, right?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, no, that's not me. I mean, if anyone's watching this on video, like I like tried to dress up for this real quick between calls, but like this is just
You look
me.
great.
I wear
Yep.
black every day. I don't wear make, you know what I mean? Like I'm just
Yeah.
very but I've built that into my brand because my brand is I don't have time to spend time on that stuff because I'm so
Mhm.
obsessed with what I'm doing. So I've
Mhm.
actually done that intentionally. My whole
Love
wardrobe
it.
has become jeans and black for my brand.
Love it.
That's like the level of commitment I have to it. And I only show myself like working out, whiteboarding, working, speaking, right?
that's amazing. Because that's fair. Like I think when people think of lifestyle, they think, oh, I'm going to show my life, but it's really like, how can you weave in what makes you unique that people know you for?
100%. And I use the term bridging all the time. So, for example, I'm in Newport Beach and I went for a walk this morning. It was beautiful. I saw the sunrise and I took a picture and I haven't posted it yet. I haven't been on Instagram yet today, but there was a seagull and my marketing brain's thinking on the walk back, like, oh, when I post that, it's not going to be, a lot of people would be like, oh, beautiful sunrise, freedom of travel. Like, sure, maybe if that's what I'm selling is freedom, but I'm
Right.
actually not selling that because I actually think that you have to put in a lot of work until you get the freedom, right? So I
Yep.
don't show that. So I'm going to put something that's like chatting with Sam the Seagull about marketing, messaging, and branding. You know what I mean?
Love
Like,
it. Yeah.
just because if I have someone's attention, it's that messaging, marketing, branding.
It's like you're always directing them to that point on the board, whatever you're posting and sharing.
Right, because that is my expertise. And I think I was talking with you about diluting it. If all of a sudden I'm talking about all these different things, I'm diluting my expertise.
100%. And I think that's a very easy mistake people make.
Huge.
So this is going to be helpful for a lot of us. And I think people listening might think, okay, well, how do I know my unique brand positioning? How do you help clients figure out what that is? If they're like, I want to do this and this and this, how do you get there?
It's so good. Okay, so a couple things. Ask 5 people to describe you in one word. Just one.
I love that.
That's
I get
fun.
like grit and resilience a lot from like people in the workspace, right?
Yep.
So I show that. I show myself with the barbell. There is a reason I don't wear crop tops because like I wear crop tops for a reason because my abs will show that I'm committed.
Love it.
Right? My barbell will show that I work hard. Those things, it's not about showing the fitness, it's actually about showing the core values,
Amazing.
right?
Yep.
So ask people to describe you in one word. The other one that I love is I call it persona parents. So if 2 famous people were to birth you, who would they be?
Oh, that's fun too.
It's so fun. I need to redo mine because the last time I polled my community, it was Bill Belichick, who's the former Patriots head coach,
Amazing.
who's literally like just a
Who's
whiteboard
now
on my.
with a 20-year-old or something?
I know, this was before then.
That's okay. It's
Hey, Bill,
okay.
you go,
Yeah,
Bill.
go have your fun.
You live your life, okay?
Yes. Yeah.
And Elf, Will Ferrell.
Oh my gosh.
Those were my persona parents.
That's hilarious. I'm obsessed.
But anyone listening now has a better idea of me. I'm like, no bullshit, like, let's get to work, let's get it done. But then I have this like very innocent, fun, like, I'm in love, I don't care who knows. Or like, I always laugh, like,
Yes.
world's best cup of coffee. Like, I would be the person that would say, world's best cup of coffee and walk in and be like, congratulations, right?
I love that so much because I do have such a clear picture of that in my mind right now.
Yep. And
That's
now
amazing.
build your brand. How am I showing these things? and don't even go to font colors. And like your font colors should reflect your brand, but people look for the font colors to create the brand.
Yep.
There's a difference between the font colors reflecting the brand and the font colors creating the brand.
100%. And people go to the font colors, they're like, oh, brand, got to get my brand. But
I know everyone thinks brand is like a color palette and like a font.
yes. Yes. Well, it's the fun stuff, the easy stuff, right? Pick some colors and fonts, but then we get frustrated that it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
So it's starting with pen and paper, asking people one word to describe you, and then figuring out your, what did you call it? Celebrity
Persona
parents?
parents.
Persona parents. I love that. So you're two parents. And then I think that just makes me want to like write down a bunch of things from there on a piece of paper and just like brain dump and go from there.
And that's gonna be one part. So that's gonna be the who you be. And the other part of your brand is what you do.
Okay.
So if you want to be associated with solving one problem, where if someone's at dinner and Susie says, oh, I really need help with blank, and they say, oh, you got to go to Melissa, what would that one thing be?
Sure.
That's it.
So being really well known for doing one thing really well, being that go-to girl.
Like I was attracting in when I was doing the like tutu and I'm like on the beach and all this weird shit. That's so not me. I was attracting in a lot of women who knew my story, that I built the 7 figures with 4,000 followers, who didn't want to work because I wasn't showing myself working. And now
Oh,
I have completely, if you look at like my private clients, they are like alpha males, right? For the
interesting.
most part. And like, it's like rigor, intense, let's go. Because people associate working with me as like all in, obsessed, let's go, no bullshit, no excuses.
Amazing. Now, how do you feel like you, and maybe what was slow, or maybe you can point back to something, you work with big clients, obviously, as you said, 5 million followers. You work with big clients, big names. How did you get there? What do you feel like got you to that high level client?
All my high level clients have been collaborations or relationships or something that started as a project that I just over deliver and share value. Like I just let the results show. Word of
Amazing.
mouth happens, you know, and people just see it and they're like, oh, I want that. But the truth is everything I do is a system and a process that translates exactly the same to brand new people, which is why in the Brand Lab, we work with all levels. We have packages for all levels. It's just a matter of like, which ones am I fully on?
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, the newer clients probably don't need that.
Sure.
Would it benefit them? Would they get quicker results? Sure. But, you know, that's where I do group coaching calls. That's where I do other things. And so it was referrals, events, but like my first event was 4 people in my living room.
Wow.
Like you have to have the willingness to just start and keep going. People don't
Sure.
want to fully go all in until they know it's going to work. It will not work until you fully go all in.
That's like my favorite thing you've said today, because I think so many people, and you've said some great things, but it just speaks to me because I think so many people are just afraid to be seen trying and look silly, or, okay, it's not a success yet, I can't talk about how successful this is. And they don't feel comfortable or confident just going all in on it. But it is so important to do that because it is going to pay off if you're all in. That's so important. So you feel like it was just being 100%, and this seems like naturally your personality, but I think people people can really resonate, like going all in and being 100% in it every single day, day after day.
Yeah, and I was still like there were phases of my career where I was kind of hiding in business partnerships. And that
Okay.
wasn't a reflection of the business partner. It was like, well, if I go all in by myself and it fails, it's all on me. But if I go all in with a business partner and it fails, then it's not all on me. And I
Right.
had to really call myself forward on that because it was creating friction
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to work a certain way and maybe the other person didn't. I don't work like a normal person, right? And then if they weren't meeting me where I was at, then I would kind of hold back and maybe go do my own thing on the side. And like it was all of this because I was afraid to fully go all in. So
Wow.
if anyone's hearing this, it's very human. And I think we experience it in all aspects of our lives, relationships,
Hmm.
you know, like, oh, it might be easier to not go all in. And yeah, I mean, there's just so many ways.
That's amazing. Now, with social media, I know that your content strategy is a lot with, your entire strategy for that brand. But what are you seeing work well on social right now?
I think authenticity in a world of AI. I
Yes.
think authenticity is, and I don't use AI. Like, it's like the funniest story is that, and I told this on stage recently, is that I don't use ChatGPT for any copy. I don't use it for landing pages. I don't use it for any of that. Do people on my team with some of our clients like, yeah, sure, of course, we like profile the
Mhm.
clients, build their voice. It's, of course, it's a tool. I
Mhm.
never have. And I was telling them on stage lately, I was like, yeah, I only time I use ChatGPT for like messaging was when I started dating again, like my now boyfriend. And I was like, um, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean?
That's
Um,
hilarious.
yeah.
Help me.
How do I reply to this? I was like, I was so awkward. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've done that. But
That's hilarious. And it probably spit out some weird things too.
yeah, and I think it would give some funny exables. And I was like,
Got
whoa,
it.
we're a little feisty there, chat.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. It's like
I'm
I never
not
know
saying
what.
that.
Yeah.
But it's like the funniest story. But I think authenticity
Yeah.
is performing the most online right now. I mean, logistically, DM automations, of course, you want to have
Mhm.
set up.
Yep.
Where are you bringing them from online? But definitely authenticity. I mean, there's a lot of shareable content, of course, is going to be what is going to get new eyes on you. It's not going to
Yep.
be what converts for you, but it's going to be what gets new eyes that could then eventually convert. So you want to always balance. I always say attraction, connection, conversion, 3 different types of content.
Mhm.
Um, and so making sure your ratio is aligned with where you are in your launch strategy. So the very beginning of your launch strategy, you should be doing a lot more attraction content to get more eyes. Then you're doing a lot of connection, authority building into conversion, right?
Amazing.
Yeah, but that would be the number one thing I see.
I agree with you 100%. I think people are just craving real and human to human. Like, I want to hear from you. What are you working on? Struggle. Like, the emotion invoking content
Hmm.
is so important.
Yeah, and the stuff that doesn't look like it's been made by AI. And we have a
Yes.
mix. We have some stuff where, of course, the team is creating it and using these tools. And then my favorite are when they pull the video from the behind the scenes of like my interviews, or I'm like cracking up or dancing and like, you know what I mean? Like that's actually my favorite because people can see like I'm pretty goofy.
Yes, they just like see that the fun side of you, a different side of you. Yeah. Okay, I love that. So fun. Now, quickly tell me about the book, the journey, the launch. How has all that been? Talk to me.
It was a huge breakthrough for me of a new level of grief. So the book is about the lessons I learned in grief. The teacher in me, of course, sees grief and was like, "What do we learn?" But it brought me back to revisiting parts of very traumatic events in a way that I didn't experience when I was going through them. Because when you're going through them, you're in survival mode. You're not processing.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, how do you get back in it and process? And I kept getting feedback. You need to go deeper. You're not even talking about your story. You're just talking about your client stories. People want to
Oh,
know your story.
wow.
Yeah, I was avoiding it. And so the final parts of the editing process were really dark, like very dark for me.
When they were having you add more of your own story.
Hmm. And like I had to read through every single page for editing.
Wow.
I remember I sat there and I did it all in like a day.
Wow.
Couldn't stop reading it. And that was just this year. And so that's where I think it's always work life integration because I needed to make time for that, but my business still had to run. So I needed
Mhm.
to have the tools to then be able to still show up for work and my team without bringing that in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where team was huge too. But that was really challenging. And I'd say like the launch has gone really well. But ironically, someone who does launches, if I were coaching myself to launch the book as an all in thing, I probably scored a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Right? But for me, I just had to give myself that, and this is where I think it's really important that everyone hears me, that that is my all in on the book right now, because it's so vulnerable and it's
Mhm.
so hard that I get nauseous going in more than a 6 right now, probably more
Wow.
than a 5. So all in doesn't always have to mean 10 out of 10,
So good.
right? And I think that's very important for people to hear, especially from me.
Yep.
My all in right now, this is what it is. And the book's done very well, but it's also a lifelong commitment. I'm not in any rush. This is gonna be
Amazing.
something I keep spreading and keep spreading, and as I get more comfortable and more speaking, and I hear what people how I hear about all the lives it's changing, it's gonna grow, and
Mhm.
it's gonna grow, and it's gonna grow.
Absolutely. That's so wonderful. And I think even with this podcast, I felt not even anything remotely close to that or what you've gone through, but it's like you kind of have to sit with your own work sometimes and like let it be a part of you and like learn from it and feel comfortable with what you're putting out there. So I resonate in that way. And that's a really great way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Yay. I'm so glad. I need to read it.
Yes, I can't wait for you to read it.
Will you tell everyone what it's called?
So they can go
Scar
get it.
tissue.
Scar tissue.
Yeah. We talk about our wounds a lot, right? Whether it's a breakup. And this book is not just about death. Breakup, divorce, loss of friendships, change of career, loss of identity, empty nest, pet loss, people serving in the military when they return, their lives, their families' lives, like all of these losses of probably the future you envisioned ultimately,
Mm-hmm.
or what you had known as secure and safe.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's written for that. And as a bereaved mom, I want to give everybody the permission and understanding that all of those things are grief. There's different intensity levels,
Mm-hmm.
but they are all grief. And the same tools, just like I said, the same tools work for a brand new entrepreneur as I will use for that 5 million follower one.
Sure.
The same tools work for a breakup as the death of a child. Truthfully,
Wow.
it's just different intensities and times that it will take. It's like so similar to what I do in business, But it's called scar tissue, and it's because so often we're talking about the wounds that we miss the wisdom that's in the scar tissue surrounding the wounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Can't wait to read it. I need new books. So this is amazing. Yeah. Can't wait to read it. And then let's end on a light note, couple of your favorite things right now. So let's do like a food, a drink, a snack, something that you're loving right now.
Okay. This is not new, but I am just super obsessed with a good matcha.
Love a matcha. Iced or hot?
Oh, it depends on the day. 90% of the time hot.
Okay. Love it. Love it. Now, are you a TV person, a reader? What do you do? What's a favorite right now?
I am an Audible for
it.
books and podcaster. I do not watch TV like ever.
Okay.
If I throw something on, I like a good documentary.
Yep. Love a documentary.
Or a nice, like, especially as I'm traveling, I'm like, oh, there's TVs in the hotels. Like, I don't have a TV in my room, right?
Sure.
There's TVs and I'm sitting there and I'm like by myself traveling. And
Yeah.
so I'll throw on and like, I am a sucker for a good Law and Order SVU.
Oh my gosh, I love Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
Olivia Benz. She was just on Amy Poehler's podcast.
Oh, wow.
Mariska. And that was a really fun watch. That could be good in-flight entertainment.
Yeah.
And then what is a good Audible book that you've read recently?
Ooh, it's so funny. I was just going through my Audible library with somebody. I would say, oh, this one's right up top. I just finished it. A little while ago. Ready, Fire, Aim.
I've heard of that. It's good.
Really good. Highly recommend.
Great. Love that. Love that. Now, last favorite, something beauty, getting ready, a routine-based favorite thing right now, or just your favorite in general.
Something new I like just started on this trip was like this facial cupping.
Oh,
I'd never seen it. It's kind of like the gua sha, but it's a lot gentler, more gentle.
Yeah.
I can speak.
That
More
works.
gentle. And it doesn't have like the cupping things on it, but it's for like lymphatic drainage and inflammation. And I'm traveling so much. I'm eating differently. I'm drinking differently. I'm at
Yep.
dinners all the time. I'm eating food that I'm not cooking,
Yep.
So currently that's my bestie.
I love that. That's a good one. I'm always into a new lymphatic drainage tool. That's amazing. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for coming on. Everyone follow Melissa. We'll have everything in the show notes. So follow her. BrandLab is how they can best work with you, right?
BrandLab would be the best way. Yep. We do launch offers. If you have a launch, we do like project-based launches, or we do regular services.
Amazing. And then her book, Scar Tissue.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. This was so much fun. I appreciate you so much for being here.
Thank you.